What's up, Vinyl community? It's your boy Chris coming at you live from my wife's car. Tales from my wife's car. Had a couple hours today, some free time. Decided to go into town, get my hair cut. Popped in the Lunchbox. You know, why not? Took a few trades up there, grabbed a couple of things. Usually my MO is, holy shit wall, new arrivals, used jazz, and then maybe I'll take a look at some recent reissues or whatnot. So for all of you people who have been bugging the ever living piss out of me forever, like on every post I ever show with a bunch of original jazz records, about why don't you buy the Tone Poets, why don't you buy the Blue Note 80s, why don't you buy the broken record. Internet. Why people are worried about what I do with my money, I'll never understand. But anyway, for you people, you'll be more than happy to know that I bought a couple today, because I figured, why the hell not? Took some trade-ins with me. These are a couple. One's one that I don't have an original of, and the other is one that I have an original of, but it wasn't released until 1980. So the cover artwork and everything like that is very underwhelming. So I figured this could potentially be an upgrade. So we'll find out. But first one was Etc. Wayne Shorter. Herbie Hancock's on this. Cecil McBee's on this. Joel Chambers is on this. Hey, Tone Poet. Hear nothing but great things. I can't figure out whether I'm hearing all the great things because they're so much cheaper because they're under 30 bucks, or if I'm hearing all the great things because the sound's all that great. But we'll figure it out. I know a lot of really smart people that I really trust that all tell me that they sound great, so I'm taking all of your words for it. But I ain't at the original jazz game, let's just say that. Next up was the one out of the two that I was wanting the most. Andrew Hill, Blackfire. It's got Joe Henderson on it. I'll buy anything with Henderson on it. Richard Davis, Roy Haynes. I've got most of my favorite Andrew Hills on original presses, but I don't have this one. But needless to say, this isn't a permanent stop. This is a placeholder, regardless of how good it sounds. As soon as I get a chance to have an original, I will jump on selling this to one of you guys. So, but in the meantime, I really am looking forward to hearing it. But anyway, that was my stop at Lunchbox. Now I'm at Revolver Records. For those of you who remember me doing a video after my first stop at Revolver Records, maybe 2 months ago, give or take. Walked in, popped up, found up some great original jazz presses that day. It was only about 20 minutes from Lunchbox, so I figured, why not try my luck a second go around. So I'll be reporting to you guys soon. Fingers crossed. What's up, Vinyl community? So I've made my way out of Revolver Records now, and some good stuff. As you guys know, there's nothing common that I won't sell in my pursuit of owning all the original jazz I could ever get my hands on. And there's a lot of them that I really love, classic rock stuff being, that I got rid of because I know they're common and I know I'll be able to readily find them again. So today was one of those days where I popped in, and Ron at Revolver, super nice guy, I've talked about him in a past video, had several that I really loved, that I really hated to part with, but again, knew that I could get them back. So I went ahead and did that. First off, Pearl, Janis Joplin, $2.99 on it. So I couldn't pass on that. It's in great condition. Definitely couldn't pass. Next up, The River by Bruce Springsteen. My favorite Springsteen song is Hungry Heart. It's on this album. He had 10 bucks on it. I opened it up, 2 LP, $10 is fair. And I saw a few little scuffs, and so Ron can tell that I'm kind of looking it over carefully. And he's like, is there something wrong with it? I'm like, yeah, nah, just a few scuffs. Nothing, it doesn't look like it's going to affect play. And he goes, well, what about 7? And I said, yeah, man, I'll buy it from you right now for 7. So threw 7 on it, and I bought it. Next up was the steal of the day, in my opinion. Ended up selling all my Led Zeppelin. I used to have every Led Zeppelin studio original press. I used to have every Zeppelin studio album on Japanese press. I used to have So many bootlegs. I'm talking about probably 100 pieces in my Led Zeppelin collection easily. Well, people pay for Led Zeppelin. They pay a lot of money, and Led Zeppelin is common found stuff. So it's like I can get all these again. Several guys offered me a whole bunch of money for them, especially the bootlegs. I made a bunch of money off of them. So it's like, you know what? I'm gonna go buy my jazz with this now, and I'll get my Zeppelin back slowly but surely. I had no idea that prices on Zeppelin albums were gonna go up the way they have, though. It used to be for $100 you could get Zeppelin's entire discography on vinyl in good condition. Now I saw Houses of the Holy the other day with 30 on it. Great album. I'm not paying $30 for it. Presence I saw the other day with 20. I saw Coda with 20. A lot of Zeppelin fans don't even count Coda. It's like, Coda, huh? What is that? But $20 on it. And there's good songs on Coda, but it pales in comparison to their best. I think we all agree on that. But anyway, still the day. Physical Graffiti. I needed to replace this one. It's top 3 Zepp album usually for me. My mood changes all the time. No splits, no ring wear, no nothing. Original press. LPs have a little scuffing on it, but it's not anything at all that's going to affect playback. And he had $7.99 on it. So you guys know me. What do I do when I see an opportunity like that? I had to do it. And actually, that was the steal of the day easily. But my favorite one I got today is actually the following, and for several reasons. And it's Willie Nelson, Shotgun Willie. Original press, 1973. As a kid, as a youngster, my dad, my uncles, my grandfather used to always listen to a lot of Willie Nelson. And out of all the ones they would play so much, this one was my favorite. Well, this one and Red-Headed Stranger was my favorite, and I always loved it. But then I get into vinyl and decided I wanted to own it on vinyl, and it's like, holy shit, this is hard to find. Like, this was the only copy I'd ever seen in the shop before. So, obviously I wanted to grab it. Actually, Ron had posted it on his Instagram profile, I think 2 or 3 days ago, that he had just gotten it in with a couple of other, like, dollar style country albums. Not good stuff, but readily available. And I had just messaged him to say, hey, man, Shotgun Willie, I've been looking for that album for years. And he messaged me back and he goes, well, I'll hold it for you. And I'm like, I'm not wanting to hold this guy up. So I messaged him and say, man, that's very nice of you, Ron. I really appreciate it, but it's going to be a few days before I can get in there. I live an hour from you. And he messages me back. He goes, do you think you can get in one day in the next week? I'm like, yeah, Tuesday or Friday, looking, most likely. And he goes, well, it'll be here waiting for you. So I was like, Ron, man, you're awesome. Thank you. I'll make sure I come get it. So I came up here to get that, and obviously I didn't want to leave with just that. A little disappointed that there wasn't any jazz in the bins for me, at least not anything, that, one needs to really have. But still, I replaced a few rock albums that, that I really enjoy for cheap today. That stack full of records I just showed you was $30. So you can't beat it. And Ron, I got to tell you, man, I really appreciate it. I can't possibly wish you enough success. You're a super, super, super nice guy. You met me once. You have no reason to hold records for me or anything like that. You really just don't. You don't have any reason at all to even acknowledge my message, even though I understand that customer service is a big part of your line of work. I've been in a lot of very successful record shops where not the same thing. The owners are just getting by, but you could forget about having somebody volunteer to hold a record for you, or even messaging you back if you ask, could you hold it. But anyway, thank you for holding that record for me. Thank you for cutting me the deal on the river. You didn't have to. $10 was still a fair price for a 2 LP. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Thank you for being an awesome guy. Thank you for the great prices. I wish you all the success in the world. And to Scott at Lunchbox, as always, buddy, my favorite record store in the world out of all the ones I've ever been to. You're awesome. I'm going to really enjoy finally finding out what these Tone Poet Jazz releases that everybody's been telling me I should have been jumping on from the get-go are all about, and decide whether or not I want to buy more from there. So, great day. Great records. Now I'm going to go home and see if I can find some time to listen to a few of them. Until next time, until next video, which, hey, could be later today. I got a little bit of time. Keep dropping that needle, you guys. What's up, vinyl community? Back at the house after a day out, digging for records, getting a haircut, getting a trim. It won't last long. Lord knows it'll be down to here in a week. But it's okay, I don't mind that. Back at the house. My last video, after stopping at Revolver, I realized I had signed you guys out with my whole, you know, keep dropping that needle, you guys, for the man cave. I realized that I had done that, and I wasn't really done with you guys yet, because I have a handful of recent acquisitions before today that I wanted to share with you guys. And just a handful, nothing major. First up, because even though I hardly ever buy from eBay anymore, I still window shop. I window shop like hell. And I window shop, and sometimes I come up on something where I was like, it's a little low price, and I shoot them an offer. You never know. You offer somebody, if somebody's posting something for $100 and you offer them $65, you just never know. And 9 times out of 10, I never get a response back, and it's okay by me, because it's like, you know what, I'll find it. But I just put in Jackie McLean in the search one day, and come up on Jackie McLean making the changes. New jazz. Awesome album. Jackie on the alto, Curtis Fuller on the trombone, Webster Young on trumpet, Gil Coggins on piano, Paul Chambers on bass, Louis Haynes on drums, and that's on some of the tracks. And then Jackie McLean on the alto, Mal Waldron, who I love, on piano, Arthur Phillips on bass, and Arthur Taylor on drums, who I love, on some of the other tracks. So basically they split it up 3 and 3, those 2 lineups that I just showed you. It's a great album. This one, unfortunately, not a first press, but it is a an OJC reissue, which I advocate to you guys quite frequently. It's still got that beautiful new jazz label. The only difference, of course, is that OJC 197 code. A little dusty when I got it, but it's okay. Especially when you consider that I want it for $5. I love this album, and I'm definitely going to have a first press one day. But $5 to get your hands on some Jackie McLean in his prime. You can't beat it. You have to. Right. So I did. And next up, 1984, Yusuf Lateef. I've explained my extreme affinity for Yusuf Lateef to you guys a bunch of times. It's on Impulse. It's great, you know. As of anything on Impulse, got the glorious gatefold. It's beautiful. It's a wonderful album. It was recorded in 1965. Yet the name of the album was 1984. Here's the one kicker for me that I didn't notice when I first took a look at the listing, but when I got it in the house, noticed. Okay, so I knew I was bidding on a repress. I knew it. But for the price was so low, I didn't give a shit. I'm like, you guys know me. I'll bid low for it now, listen to it, enjoy it, and when I get a good opportunity for a first, and then I'll just, sell it off or VCLT it or whatever. Look at that. That is a first mono gatefold, which of course you guys know I'd love to have. Problem with that being is the ugly green, blue, and purple stereo Impulse label, which is what I thought I was getting across the board, to which you guys automatically knew that I would be looking to upgrade first mono route anyway. But now having that first gatefold mono sleeve with the later green, blue, and purple Impulse stereo label, you guys know automatically that I'm going to want to upgrade from that. So, and like quick, because it just bothers me, just this combination. Because there's a lot of people that if they get it, they'll buy a beat original mono, press maybe, that the gatefold's great, and then the record is shit, and they'll get it for cheap, and they'll tell themselves, well, I'll get a record that's better for it, and they don't mind pairing a reissue record with it, or whatever. But that shit just bothers me to no end. So good news is I won it for $2.99, and it's a great album. So $2.99 on eBay. I was the only bidder, only washer. Maybe everybody paid a little bit more attention to that than I did. I just thought $2.99 for a reissue that's a steal, and it still is. It's still a steal. It's just that's gonna bother me a little bit, but it's okay. I will remedy the situation. Best believe. Next up, this one is a big one. This one is Johnny Coles, Little Johnny C on Blue Note. It's original stereo. It's glorious. Joe Henderson, Duke Pearson, Bob Crenshaw, Walter Perkins, Pete LaRocca. As you guys know, with Blue Note, splat out. It's gorgeous, and obviously it sounds phenomenal because again, it's Blue Note. I won that for $43. Do yourselves a favor if you want to go on. If you're bored, if you got time to kill, go on Discogs and look up Little Johnny C by Johnny Coles, and just go to the Discogs medium or to the ones that are selling now. There's a cheap copy's $300. Somehow, some way, I managed to win this bad boy, this beautiful bastard here, for $43. So that was a happy day. And when I put in my max bid of $50. Not expecting to win. And at the time that I put it in, didn't really have that much money, but I had enough to cover $50, which is why I put $50 in. And sure enough, I won $43. I know the poor bastard that sent that to me, I know for a fact, he had to have gritted his teeth putting that in the mailer to send off to me. Okay. First of all, quick story about those three that I just showed you. So I live in upstate South Carolina. I'd never tell anybody exactly where because I'm not a crazy person and I never know who watches my videos. I live in upstate South Carolina. Almost every package that comes to me comes through Greensboro, North Carolina. It's just something that's always happened. And when you track packages, when you live where I live, anytime you click track package and it says in Greensboro, North Carolina, you know you're going to have your package at your front door in a day, 2 tops. You know that. So I tracked this one and it shows up in Greensboro, North Carolina. Great. Yes. I'm going to have it like today or tomorrow. And I'm getting ready to be off and I'm going to spin the hell out of it and it's going to be great. So the next day, track it, still in Greensboro. The next day, track it, no update. So I'm like, damn it, I was hoping I would have it while I was off. Okay, well, maybe for the next day off. Track it, no update. Track it, no update. Track it, no update. 5 days it sits in Greensboro, North Carolina before it finally says in transit the next, location, which would be my local post office. Then it shows up at my door. I'm like, okay, that's weird. That's really weird. But it was like, okay, no harm, no foul. Showed up at my door, one piece. I love it. Great. And for these two, for the Yusuf Lateef and the Jackie McLean, okay, so they show up in Greensboro, and certainly I'm thinking that last one was a one-time off. They show up in Greensboro, track them in Greensboro. Okay, great. Day or two, have them. 2 days go by, 3 days go by, 4 days go by, 5 days go by. No updates. Still not at my front door. At this point, I'm not going to lie to you guys, I'm frustrated because it's like, okay, I've been buying records off eBay 4 years. And anytime they've ever showed up in Greensboro means they're almost at my door. What the hell? So then the next day I log in and they're in Memphis. Okay guys, Greensboro, North Carolina is here. Upstate South Carolina is here. I can drive to Greensboro and back in a few hours. 2.5, 3 hours. Why are they going to Memphis? So that's frustrating. Like maybe something's going on in the Greensboro post office. Next day, click back in. They're in Mississippi. Why in the hell would they go from Greensboro to Memphis to Mississippi? So I'm frustrated. It's like, I'm going to have to call the Greensboro post office tomorrow. I'm going to have to see what the hell's going on. So I log in the next day, track the package. They're back in Greensboro, where they were from the jump. I'm like, oh Lord, it's getting ready to start all over again. The next day, they're at my front door. No joke. Why couldn't they have been from Greensboro to my front door the first time? So that's weird, and it was infuriating. But anyway, It is what it is. So I was just thinking, it makes me nervous because the more post office stops means the more people handle it, means the more opportunity for reckless individuals to put their hands on it, to potentially drop it, to potentially step on it, and thus you end up with a really rare record, what I got for cheap, like the little Johnny C, potentially stomped in half because it was just handled too many times, and people don't know what's in there, and a lot of people don't give a shit about their jobs, especially if they're in customer service, so you never know. It made me nervous. They all showed up, no problems. I don't know if any of you guys have ever had a similar problem to that, but anyway, I'm not gonna lie, it made me nervous. All right, so to close out this video, you guys, if you've been following my channel long enough, you know, like maybe 6 months or so, have no doubt seen me talk about my copy of John Coltrane's Love Supreme several times. It's an original mono pressing, which was a big grail for me. I'd always wanted an original mono pressing of John Coltrane's Love Supreme. It's the very first jazz album I ever got into. It's the album that got me into jazz. I love it, and thus I've always wanted a super clean original mono pressing of it. So I had an opportunity last year to get an original mono pressing of it. Vinyl sounded great, yada yada yada. Big condition is it had a big ass chip cut off of the top right hand corner, which I hated. And it was such a great price. I just wanted to hear the album in mono, and I loved it. I was very happy with the way the album sounded, and I got a great price on it. But I'm looking at it and I'm like, this just ain't gonna do. This ain't gonna do. I got to do something about that cover. Whoever did that deserves to be stabbed in the throat with a pair of scissors. I wish I was kidding. Anyway, so I got an opportunity. I saw someone selling an original mono pressing of A Love Supreme, album cover, fully intact, vinyl described just as my vinyl pressing was described to me, VG plus. Okay, great. Selling it, and they were selling it for $100, which, by the way, is a steal for an original first press mono, A Love Supreme. And I was like, holy hell, I can sell the one with the chewed up corner that I've got for $100. So I called up a buddy of mine that I thought might would want it. He thought on it for 15 minutes. I described the cover. I told him, I said, look, the cover's chewed up, the album sounds great. He went for it. And so I got his $100, turned around immediately, bought the album off of eBay. Like, okay, now I just need everything to show up the way it was described, and we're good. Here we are. John Coltrane, A Love Supreme, first mono. As you can see, no chewed up corner. Not a damn thing in the world wrong with it. Splat out on the gatefold. No split seams. Spine looks great. No splits, no shoes, no problems. And the vinyl was at least close enough to being just as good as the one I had before, because I took a big leap of faith on this one. I'm like, okay, this person's a reputable seller on eBay, and as long as it sounds as he describes, it'll be basically the same as the one I have now. And my buddy was doing me a favor by buying my chewed up cover off of me, so I wanted to get it in his hands as close as I possibly could. Excuse me, as soon as I possibly could. So I went ahead, closed the deal, dropped it in the mail the next day. Like, okay, now cross my fingers, because I know that even if it doesn't come back the way I want it to, even if it does come back chewed up, I know I'm not going back to be like, hey man, actually it was shitty, can you send me my money back? I know I'm not going to do that. So everything arrived fine, and I'm more than happy with this being my forever copy. So it was a great thing for me. I had an opportunity to listen to it. It's great. It's wonderful. Everything came back awesome, and it's been great. So yeah, so great day at Lunchbox, great day at Revolver Records in Gastonia, North Carolina, and you know, 4 or 5 recent finds for you guys. Gonna have a big box of jazz coming in the next week or two, in which you guys will get another recent finds video from me, but I promise it'll be full of fire. You'll see it coming soon enough, and until next time, Until next video, keep dropping that ED, you guys.